Hey friend, hey, it's your friend on the other end, Takia, and welcome back to Cash Your Care Podcast, where faith meets reflection. So last week we talked about the strength in surrender, or the safety in surrender, and how there's peace, protection, and purpose when we fully place our trust in God. After that episode, a listener reached out and asked me to share some scriptures about surrender found in the book of Luke. And of course, that question hit me, and it just made me realize that it's important that we know that surrender isn't just about talking. It's about doing it and moving in it. It's about living and relearning every day. So today, we're going to dive into what surrender looks like in action. We're going to ask the question and see what it truly means to follow Christ's lead, even when it's uncomfortable. So there's 3 scriptures that I was able to reference in the book of Luke. The first one is Luke chapter 9, verses 23 and 24. Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross daily and follow me. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will save it. In order to lead, we first have to follow. Before God can trust us to influence others, we have to be able to be influenced by Him. He has to teach us to follow His voice, His pace, and His direction. And let's be honest, it's easy to follow when the path is clear, when everything feels aligned. But true surrender happens when we keep following even when we don't understand. Sometimes surrender looks like deleting the plan we made and saying, God, you got it. You got it, OG. You do what you want. We can't make Christ the head of our lives if we keep letting other things lead. Whether that could be the family, our hurt, our pain, our ambitions, our desires. We can't receive when our hands are full. Sometimes God can't pour into us because we're holding on to things that He's asked us to release. And so in that question, who or what have you been letting lead you lately? Luke 14:33 says, in the same way, those of you who do not give up everything, you cannot be my disciples. God has made us stewards of this life. It's not our own. Everything we have, our gifts, our talents, our desires, our time, it's all borrowed. When we surrender our plans and desires to Him, that's when our purpose will activate. You see, surrender, it isn't subtraction. It's alignment. That's a bar. When we surrender, we're saying, God, I trust you. Do what you need to do. My yes is way more than my control. You can do more with my yes than I can do with my control. So the question becomes, what are we clinging to that's keeping us from living fully in what God has called us to do? What would happen if we stopped clinging and started trusting? Luke 22:42 says, Father, if you are willing, take this cup from me, yet not my will, but yours be done. Even Jesus wrestled with surrender. He didn't want to die on the cross. He didn't want to go through the torment that He had to go through. But what did He do? He still chose to do God's will. He even had to go through this. He didn't want the cross. He asked God to take it away. But He still chose obedience over comfort. In that surrender, the entire world was saved. Because of His obedience, because of His surrender. That moment in itself shows us that surrender doesn't always feel good, but it is always worth it. Sometimes God will stretch us beyond what we think we can bear. But like Jesus, we can say, not my will, but yours be done. So I want to ask you, what is in your cup? What's the thing that you wish that you could avoid, but God is asking you to surrender anyway? Remember that surrender isn't subtraction, it's alignment. Surrender isn't weakness, it's actually strength. It's a sacred exchange. When we give our plans to God, He gives us His purpose. When we release control, He fills us with His peace. And when we stop striving, we can finally start living. So friend, whatever you're carrying today, hurt, pain, ambitions, desires, plans, release it today. You don't have to have it all figured out, but you do have to start with a yes. And in this moment, I want you to take a time to write this out or to say it out loud. Lord, here's the area of my life I've been holding on to. My children, my job, my finances, my hurt, my pain, my unforgiveness. Help me to surrender it, trusting that your plans are better than mine. Then ask yourself, what might I gain by letting this go? In this episode, if this episode has spoke to your heart, share it with someone who needs the reminder that surrender is strength. Don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe so more people can join us on this journey of faith and freedom. You can watch this full episode on YouTube, and you can follow me on Cash Your Cares Podcast and join our Facebook community so we can grow together in grace and gratitude. Until next time, friend. Peace.